Welcome to Grumpy Old Men, and let me tell you that I'm fairly grumpy today, so that's a good start. I'm Tim Newton, and this
is Steve Ross, and I'm grumpy as hell today.
Now, you've visited the southern island of Phuket. Mm-hmm. What brought you here this week?
Well, a little
Matters
bit
of the heart.
A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Yeah,
Can you share what your this or that is?
Once a month, as I have said before, I live on my Social Security. And I live very well for a bachelor on a beach. But once a month, when the check comes in, I like to do the 2-day millionaire thing and
Splurge.
go to Phuket. Yeah, well, or splooge. I go to Phuket for a couple of days and I meet people I know like this and like other people I know. And I have a very good 2 days, very enjoyable 2 days. Do a little shopping. I have to buy some heart medication while I'm here. They don't sell up there. Then I go back, and for 27 days, I eat mama noodles, and I wait for my next 2 days to be a 2-day millionaire. And that's what I'm doing. This is the second of my millionaire 2 days.
And you were just perusing my book collection.
Yeah.
There were about 3 books over there on the bookshelf.
Which is more than most people have in their homes.
And you found this.
I'm very grateful to have an opportunity to promote Very Thai and Bangkok Thai by Philip Cornwell Smith. These are amazing books. Everything that you go to YouTube every day looking to learn has already been published and immaculately researched.
It was a great guide for me, I have to admit.
Yeah.
That was probably the first book I bought when I came here, and it's been a very good guide. But there is a major problem with it.
Well, the problem for me is the font is minuscule.
It's tiny.
The amount of work that Mr. Cornwell Smith put into this project, these 2 books, and at the end of it, I have to hold it
It's
here.
sort of Times New Roman 8 point or something.
It's 8, or 7. And they're saving paper, I think. And they're making room for absolutely
lots of photos.
Gorgeous, unique photos you won't see anywhere else. So if you're looking at YouTube for real information about Thailand, buy this book and its companion volume, Very Bangkok. Everything you'll ever want to know is there, and you don't have to sit through some guy telling you where you can get a 60-baht beer on Nana Plaza.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
You would never have to watch Steve or me ever again. Steve or me? Steve or I? Steve and me?
No, me.
Steve and me.
Object.
Ever again.
Yeah.
Now, talking of YouTube, this has sort of come up during the week. And I saw, I don't know how the algorithm works, but I was sent this video. And it's from a YouTuber called Thai Talk with Dan. Mm-hmm. And I had a look at a few of his videos. I don't know, I think he'd be late 30s, early 40s, British, clearly, got a very strong sort of, I was going to say Northern England accent, but I'm not very good with my English accents. Mm-hmm. But his sort of deal on YouTube is telling the truth about the bar girl scene. Mm-hmm. And relatively critical, I suppose you could say, about the bar girls and what they're after. But I'd have to say most people sort of have in the back of their mind what the deal is about, but perhaps lose a bit of perspective after they've had 13 drinks and the Thai girls tells them how handsome they are.
Yeah.
So I wrote to Dan sort of asking, and there is an end to the story. I asked him about why he sort of set up the channel, because to me it sort of balances out 100 YouTube channels that you see in Pattaya, which sort of talk about the glory of the bars and how to meet bar girls and what to do and how much things cost, which is fine. Now, come on, you've watched a few of those.
I've watched the first 30 seconds of a few of those, yeah. And it's not even the promotion of the commercial sex industry from the consumer end, because these guys are all consumers. It's that they don't take any care with their product. They don't put any effort into it. They just sit down and tell you what they saw in the bar last night. And I don't think that's creativity. So he is I've only watched the one video that we're going to talk about, but I watched it all the way through, which is rare for me. I don't get all the way through a lot of Thai-themed content.
His narrative is very good. He's good at telling the story and passing on the mostly experiences of other Farang that have not gone well with Thai women. That's most of his content.
He seems to be, judging from this one interview, interested in warning people, warning men, Western men, sex tourists, sexpats, warning them to be careful, to go slowly, to not believe everything, not take anything at face value. And that's all positive. I like that.
However,
in this video, a couple things I'll point out. And Dan, like I said, if you're watching, I don't know if you watch, but I watched all the way through. You kept my interest all the way through, which is a very rare thing. But he's reading a letter from a viewer, and we will suppose, for the sake of argument, this is really a letter. You know, there's an old book called
the Bible?
Hello, My Big Honey. And it's supposed to be a collection of letters from bar girls to their Western sponsors. And we used to all get paid back, 30 years ago. The bar girls would pay you. If you spoke a little Thai and you spoke English, they'd pay you to write letters. And sometimes they'd pay you for 3 letters, all exactly the same. One to Abdul, one to Pierre, and one to Frank. And they would pay, and they would send these letters out, and money would come back. So supposedly, 2 authors, 2 journalists back in the 80s collected a bunch of these letters and published them. I did not believe in the 80s that those letters were true. I don't think that they're real. I think they were created by these authors. But for this...
I'm just going to stop there. See, our camera is wobbling.
Yeah.
I think it's wobbling in the breeze from the fan.
Oh, is it?
Not your fault. Not for once.
Hey, alert the media. It's not Steve's fault.
So you keep talking. I'm going to move the fan. Keep going.
Well, I don't know if I can handle that assignment, but I will. So assuming for the moment that this letter, which is a very long letter from a viewer, a subscriber, we assume, asking for Dan's advice, and he pokes fun, if I want to be kind and generous, he pokes fun at this writer by inserting clips of screaming goats and laughing monkeys.
He does that with all his...
Yeah, well, I don't.
Sure.
If you're, I don't know, if you're an advice columnist, this is a subscriber who's written into you and poured his heart out to you. We will assume, for the sake of argument, to then make fun of the guy and cast him in a very derogatory light. I think that's a little bit rude, but it's his channel, and Dan can do what he wants. In this case, it was a very long letter from a Brit who said. The funniest thing, he describes an encounter with a woman. He can't figure this woman out, right? She's not asking him for money. And she's spending all kinds of time with him and doing all sorts of things with him. And her English is perfect and she's absolutely stunning. But she works in a bar, but she's not allowing him to give her money. And he's asking Dan, what's the deal with this woman? I like her and I enjoy spending time with her, but I feel like she, And Dan's response is, she's playing the long game. She's setting you up. She's making, all of this is a show to make you think she's not interesting. The best line in the whole video is where the guy says, so I took her back to my bungalow. We had sex 5 times that night, and in the morning she left and didn't ask for money. It was just like a regular date back home.
Good luck to you.
Dude, if you're getting it 5 times a night back home, you don't come on holiday to Pattaya.
Yeah, there you
okay?
go.
You don't need that. We're all incels, all right? We come because we're not getting it once a night back home. So that struck me as very funny. But Dan's advice, I think, was fairly sound in that, watch out for the con. Always watch out for the con. His focus on bar girls, I think, is a little misplaced, because if you're going, as this correspondent in this letter said, I've only been, he said, to the usual tourist places, Chiang Mai, Bangkok, Pattaya, and Phuket. Those are not the usual tourist places. Those are the usual sex tourist places. And everybody in those places will be trying to get money out of you. Every waiter, every tuk-tuk driver,
Sure.
every beggar on the street. That's why they've come out of the boonies, out of the bean fields, to be in Pattaya to get money from tourists,
Yeah,
particularly sex tourists. So it's not just the girls. I
Yes,
think that
sure.
that point needs to be made.
And I was interested. I mean, Dan, he's had a bit of a bad run with a Thai woman, and they've got a child involved, and a lot of his stories have been telling about this over time.
Is this the son who's the wife took him and ran with the
Oh,
son?
look,
or-
I'm not 100% sure why. I don't really want to talk
Oh,
about
maybe I've seen Dan before then. Yeah.
Maybe you have.
Yeah, so that's maybe why he's got a little hard on for the commercial sex workers.
Sure. So I did ask him, hey, is your channel about revenge? Is it about trying to give a cautionary tale to people coming over here who are looking for love? And look, I'll read out his answer. He said, look, I had spare time, as I live in Isan, had a missus and a baby boy, and worked outside in the garden on my laptop. When I was sat outside working, I would also watch a lot of Thailand content on YouTube. But over the years, it's gotten very boring as YouTubers just seem to copy each other.
10-4, Dan. We're
Nobody's
on the same
copying
page.
us. That's a
No,
worry.
yeah, thank God. Yeah,
That's a worry.
yeah.
Concentrate on trends and what makes the most money. So it stopped feeling authentic and same old, same old. I initially started making blogs and quickly got bored, so I decided to tell the truth about my own story, why I moved to Thailand, what my experience was like, places I've travelled, what I'd learned about Thailand, and what it's been like dating Thai women. This seemed to generate interest, and guys started emailing me their experiences and stories, and I started sharing them on the channel, and it just naturally flowed from there. So that's from Dan, and he was kind enough to send me a response to my question.
Yeah, very civil.
What
Yeah.
I got from his latest blog, and I'm not sure if you got this, and I think this is something that I suppose we should amplify, is that the game has changed a little bit from when you were in Thailand and you first met a lady swinging her legs under the bar stool.
Yeah. Or two, yeah, or three. Yeah.
You have motorbikes going past you in Time Lung. We've got great big trucks here.
Yeah. Well,
This
the
is
economy is much more robust here.
Big time here.
Yeah, Phuket's loud, man.
But from that vlog he did, he basically said what a lot of these women are doing now is the game has changed. They're not after the 1,000 or the 1,500 baht a night. They're after the long game. So they're stringing you along for weeks, maybe months, and they're going for the big prize. They're going for a 20, 30,000 baht a month stipend. They're going for the rings, for the jewelry, for the house in Isan, whatever. But they are now, according to Dan, the whole modus operandi has changed, and a lot of them are going for this long game and the big payout rather than this sort of nightly grind, to use perhaps an incorrect term.
Yeah, if I was in that situation, I think that's probably what I would do. And this is interesting because my observation over the last year has been exactly the opposite. When I lived on Phuket for 7 years, 30 years ago, all the girls were playing the long game. And that meant that they flattered the customer. They never took their eyes off you. They were constantly interested in what you were doing and where you were going and what you were wearing, and they wanted to be helpful. They would cook for you. They'd wash your socks. They'd do all kinds of stuff. They'd flatter you. They would tell you how handsome you are, no matter what you looked like, no matter what you smelled like. They told you you were the sexiest thing on the planet. Since coming back a year ago, I have had experience of 7 women on Phuket. Bangkok, 2 in Bangkok and 5 on Phuket.
You're counting?
I can tell you every single sexual encounter I've had in my life. I can recount for you every single sexual encounter.
All 7 of them.
All 7 sexual encounters. Well, the thing is, to get off Dan just for a moment, I'm very particular about everything, about what I eat, about my house, about the tools I use when I make my videos. And I'm very particular in the bedroom. And it takes a couple visits for me to train a woman.
Train?
Yes. Oh, yeah. First of all, unless you have something really important to say, don't say anything, please. And I will return the favor. I don't chat much in the bedroom. But There's a certain menu of things Steve is comfortable with and a certain menu of things Steve is not comfortable with. And so it takes a couple visits to really figure out, okay, is this woman trainable? And if she is, then I will continue to go back to her. I'm a creature of very rock solid habits. And when I find something I like cigarettes, like coffee, like marijuana, like a particular woman in a soapy massage, I will go back and go back and go back, and like a dog pissing on a lamppost, I'll go there every day.
A bit like coming back to this program every week.
Exactly like that. This is my pissing on a lamppost. But my point is that what I've discovered on Phuket and Bangkok in the last year is that nobody's interested in the long game anymore. These women don't pay any attention to me, to what I like, what I eat. I'll just give you an example. May I give you an example? And this is taking, be ready. This is taking the focus off Dan, and I'm sorry. Maybe he'll prefer that. But, all right, I'm a romantic. All right, at heart, I am a hopeless romantic. I very much enjoy laying on a bed, holding a woman in my arms, watching the sun go down outside the window. If I get a hotel room with a big glass window that faces a balcony where I can smoke, and that son of a bitch faces west where I can watch the sun go down from the bed, I want to have a woman there with me just to hold her and just watch the sun go down. Then we go out and eat, right? I have told women in the last year, listen, whatever we do, at 6:30 to 7 o'clock, I want to be on this bed watching the sun go down outside that window. None of them remember. None of them are there from 6:30 to 7. None of them care what Steve wants to do. They have their menu that they're comfortable with, and they're not going to go outside that menu. So I have exactly, in the last year, and certainly Dan's knowledge of Thailand currently is far beyond mine. He's been here, I'm sure, longer than a year. Everything I know about this industry is 30 years old, except for these 7 women in 14 months. But his impression is exactly the opposite of mine. I can't find anybody playing the long game because I like that. I like being flattered. I like having them pay attention to me and remember what I like to eat. So next time we go out to eat, she knows to order this for me. I like that care, that attention, that the girlfriend experience, the GFE. I like that very much. I am finding it impossible to find the girlfriend experience now in Thailand.
Okay. Well, so differing experiences.
Yeah, point of view is everything, man. Context. Context creates meaning.
But I should mention, and in all fairness, and thank you, Dan, if you're watching, for being so candid, Thai Talk with Dan is his YouTube channel, and there's lots of cautionary tales about things that have gone wrong. Sometimes, I think it's probably only sometimes, it works out well. But if you come for a night of fun and pleasure, that's there in spades. Yeah. If you're looking for love long time, you're going to have to make sure you have expectations that meet with the truth somewhere.
Yeah. And remember that you can fall in love, and that doesn't mean she's falling in love with you, but she will give you that presentation. She will take advantage of that and say, oh yeah, me love you, me wait for you, me wait for you. That's the code for I no longer work the bar. I'm waiting for you to come back, my darling. But that means you got to send me money because I'm not working in the bar anymore. Me wait for you.
And the going rate's about 20 to 30,000 baht.
Yeah. I was quoted 30,000. You give me 1,000 baht a day, I be your girlfriend. 1,000 baht a day. I don't pay more than 70 baht for a meal, lady. 1,000 baht a day.
But to sort of put a hole in all this, thank you, Dan, by the way.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, we'd be very interested in your comments about this issue, whether you think you're seeing more people playing this long game, as Dan mentioned in his last vlog, or whether it's more like Steve's experience where they're just happy with a night out.
They just want to come get the money in their fist and
you need to move your bed. You need to move your bed to the front door so that you can lie in bed and watch the sunset. Your bed, you don't have a view from your bed.
No, my bedroom is a place
tucked down the back.
Yeah, it's a place to store art materials and Steve. It's not a place for recreation or it's a hard wooden pallet with a pillow on it. That's what I sleep on. And yeah, but out front, I've got a chair. I've got a nice comfy chair with a table next to it. I read books out there. I drink coffee out there. And I do watch the sun go down. That's that Tai Muang Beach, man. Best sunsets. We are the farthest west.
Don't promote it, remember?
Oh, I'm sorry. Turtle Beach. Look on a map. You'll never find it. It's Turtle Beach. We are the point farthest west in Thailand. We are farther west than Ranong or Phuket. So we have the latest sunset. That doesn't mean anything.
That's not quite right. I'm sorry. It's up in Mae Hong Son.
Oh, on the coast. We are the farthest west on the coast.
On the coast.
We are the farthest west on the coast. Yeah.
Okay, just to clarify,
Thank
before
you.
you jump on, because
Thank
I
you.
know you will.
No, this is why we get along. We both do that. We both do that. I've pissed off so many people in my comments online because I'll enjoy a video, but rather than saying in the comments, I really enjoy that video, I'll say, you misspelled this word in your title, in your headline.
Which you do. But that was your job.
But that was my job for 20 years, correcting spelling errors for physicians.
Because we do this on the run, we will frequently make mistakes. Don't wait for us to make a mistake. Try and enjoy the other 99%.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion.
And I had, a bunch of people caught me out last week. We had a recurring segment called Steve Got It Wrong. And I do. Every episode, apparently, people correct me on a variety of things. And that's healthy. That's great. That's wonderful. I forgot to bring them. I didn't bring my laptop over here today, and I don't have them. But people did catch me out on mistakes last week. And that's great. Please
if it comes
do that.
to you during the next 15, 20, half an hour, just jump in, okay?
There was one thing that like 15 people called me out on, and I can't, it's the weed. I don't remember anything now.
Now, look, despite your romantic adventures, Slim Glyn 1 asks the question. I better wait for you to have your coffee, but you might spit it out.
That'd be great. Showbiz, baby.
Are you two a couple?
What, us? No.
We're a couple of swells.
Yeah, we're a showbiz duo. No, we're not a couple. I'm not a couple with anybody.
So I would think that we would be very, very mismatched.
Incompatible as hell.
In just about every way.
Yeah.
We do enjoy our time together each week. And we do enjoy a meal together from time to time.
Yeah.
Well, that's about it.
When you pay, we enjoy the meal. When I pay, it's never good. But when he pays, we get great food, great service, great ambiance. Yeah. This is the guy to go eat with. No.
Mr. Uled asks a question. What kind of visa is Tim on? I'm on a B visa. Non-immigrant B visa. Here you go. J. Jude, 3,000. Just picture, okay, by the way. Where is it? Steve, why did Steve dye his eyebrows?
They're not dyed, they're singed from all the smoke. No, my
they're fairly hefty eyebrows.
Well, that's the Lithuanian blood. No, as it happens, everything on top of my head turned white in my 40s. Everything else is still dark brown. All my body hair, my pubic hair, my arm hair. Yeah, it's all dark brown.
Don't
the eyebrows,
say those.
the hair in my ears, the hair in my nostrils. It's all dark brown. Only this went white. Go figure.
So, you are much more hirsute
Yeah.
than facially.
We're a hairy tribe.
Head-wise, from here up than I am. My uncle had the same very bushy eyebrows like that. And he was white on top, but and they were his...
Great on stage, man. Great on stage. You can see that in Row Z.
Oh, yes, you can.
Yeah.
That's very Eugene Levy. Very Eugene Levy.
Oh, Schitt's Creek. What a show. Watch Schitt's Creek. Great show.
Now, before YouTube wants to demonetize Steve for that, it's
my eyebrows.
SCHITTS, okay?
Apostrophe S.
It's
yes.
the name of a program. Isn't it good?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. The first 3 seasons, it eventually jumps the shark in about season 4. But the first 3 seasons are utter genius. Absolutely brilliant.
I love Moira.
Yes, she's that actress is in Black Mirror, the current season of Black Mirror. She's in an episode of that. Oh, yeah.
She was also in that dog show mockumentary.
Oh, Best in Show.
Best in Show.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
With Gene Levy's in that crowd, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
they're all Canadian sort of
Guest.
actors.
Christopher Guest is the director of those. This is Spinal Tap, Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman, and they uses the same troupe of actors, and she's part
Sort
of
of
that troupe.
mockumentaries. Look them up.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff.
Yeah. But she's a great actor. I just love her in Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. Yeah.
SCHITT''S. So what were we answering? Oh, your eyebrows. They're just painted on.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Say the magic word, the duck will come down, you win $50.
The one Rob asks.
The one Rob.
It's people,
You only need one.
people trolling us. Do you like gladiator movies?
Little boy. There's a movie, Airplane. Oh, my God. Good reference, one Rob. Yeah, what a fantastic movie. I can remember in detail the night I saw that movie in
That
1980.
wasn't called Airport.
Airplane.
Airplane. It wasn't called Airplane in Australia. It was called something else.
G'day.
Flying High or something. It had a different name. But the movie Airport, the one back in the 1970s, which was
a disaster
a great
movie, yeah.
It was great.
Charlton Heston, I think, yeah.
Dean Martin, it had all the
cameos by everybody.
Sort of like the Love Boat at an airport.
Sure. You could do those movies. You know, Dean Martin would come in for 2 days, do his bit. And then you'd get someone else come in for 2 days and do his bit, someone else. Really cheap way to get big top flight performers in your movie. Have a big episodic movie with lots of characters. And they don't ever appear on screen together. They're all in separate plot threads. And boy, it's a cheap way to really pack your movie with A-list stars.
I did love Airport. And I liked the funny one too. But it wasn't, I think it was called Flying High in
And there was
Australia.
Towering Inferno. There was the Poseidon Adventure.
Yes.
That was a trend for a while, the disaster movies. And we're still making disasters, only now its whole universe is being created and uncreated by comic book characters. We've just, the scale of the disasters now have gone from a ship or a building to destroying an entire city
Or universe.
just so we can have a computer-generated Hulk fight a computer-generated Thor.
Yes, those Marvel movies, I'm sorry if you like them, but they leave me completely cold.
I love them. I grew up on those comic books. God, I love comic books. When I was a kid.
You're right, though. Once you've seen one, you've sort of seen them all.
Yeah.
The CGI all comes out of the same computer. Is it just like you go, whatever?
And I think it's petering out. I think we're seeing the last days of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Cinematic Universe. And DC never caught up with Marvel, not in comic books and not in movies, I think. They have the two biggest property, Batman and Superman. They don't really have anything beyond that. Marvel's got 160 successful characters. But anyway, we digress.
We do. 56730323348.
Oh, that guy.
Not sure if that's his phone number.
That guy.
Or if his number plate. He says, is Phuket,
Tattooed.
and I suppose Phang Nga, Krabi, all sort of close together, worth visiting in August? And where is the best place to go to enjoy nature, not the party scene? So we're talking August. Okay, you're right in the middle of the wet season. But Steve, if you look outside, that is the wet season.
Yeah, this year there's no wet season so far. El Nino, I guess. Yeah,
they're saying El Nino is here. And
it's weird as hell. It's all anybody can talk about on Turtle Beach. Where's the rain?
Well, there's not a lot to talk about on Turtle Beach.
No, there isn't. No,
except
there isn't.
the weather.
So they're very happy to have that talked about. Other than the few Farang who are now coming to live on Turtle Beach. I don't even the rainy season. All you got to do is find a bus shelter and wait it out. Sit there for an hour, read a book, look at your phone for an hour, and it's done.
Very rarely going to be more than
half hour. Carry an umbrella. I go through 7 or 8 umbrellas a year. I leave them behind. But carry an umbrella. Carry in the compartment under the seat of your motorcycle. Stick a raincoat in there, and you're fine. And all the prices are much lower everywhere you go. As far as finding nature, dude. Just leave Bangkok, leave Pattaya, leave Chiang Mai, all the Farang ghettos. Once you're 10 feet over the town line, you're in nature. Whatever nature is left after 10,000 years of leveling everything and making it rice paddies, whatever nature is left is there. All you got to do is leave these pits of despair.
Well, it's not quite a pit of despair.
I know, I'm very down on those places.
I would say, because I've lived in Phuket for a long time, that when you drive from the airport to Patong, it looks like everything is just developed. The thing is you're driving down Tep Kasat 3 Road, which is the main north-south sort of arterial. If you look behind those shop fronts that line the whole road, it's just paddocks.
Yeah.
If you have a look at the Google Maps, the satellite shot, about 85%, 80 to 85% of Phuket is undeveloped. Patong is 3% of the land mass of Phuket. Now, when you head up to Phang Nga, it's even more rainforest and open spaces and open beaches. You could go to the Thai Muang Beach, you could go to Natai Beach, Kok Loi Beach, all up in Phang Nga. And you could go there and not see another tourist for the whole day.
They have a great national park system in this country.
Yes, they do.
They maintain their national parks, and it's all, it's jungle, it's nature. You know what I just found out?
What did you find out, Steve?
I've been saying forever and ever on my channel, and I'm sure you've watched it.
We should mention, by the way, that Steve has a YouTube channel. I'm sorry I forgot to mention earlier. It's very hard to remember. Steve Ross with an E.
Yeah. I'm that guy who does YouTube in Thailand. That one guy.
It's
I'm unique. But anyway,
you are unique.
I am unique. Yeah,
Yes.
honest to God, without bragging, there's nobody who talks like this in Thailand. Anyway, I know. You hear me all the time. There's this road. I bicycle, and it used to be the road that led to a tin mine back when that was a thing. And there's these casuarina trees, 100 feet tall, century-old trees that line this road like a gallery. What's not a pergola, like a can't remember,
road
with
with trees.
Yeah, it's like the entrance to an antebellum mansion in Gone with the Wind. It's just these enormous trees that have obviously been planted.
I was going to say they're not native.
No,
definitely
but
not native.
There are casuarina trees all through the mangrove forest that I've been saying these grow here naturally. It's mangrove and casuarina trees. Come to find out, the casuarina trees were imported by Rama IV because he was building railroads. He needed hardwood to go under the rails, and all of these trees were planted in South Thailand. They were brought in from Malaysia or Indonesia. The casuarina was planted in order to be harvested for the railroads. When the railroads stopped being built, the trees just started growing wild. This is an invasive species. This species that I've been lauding in all my videos and saying, look at this beautiful nature. No, it's all artificial. And they're trying to get money from the government to cut down all the century-old casuarina trees. It's a national park. It's supposed to be preserved nature. And they've got chickens running around in there. They've still got old families who won't be bulldozed, and they're growing rubber and sugar palm in the national
be
forest.
like the Dutch or the Portuguese tin mining barons planting these trees, right?
Along the road. They
Yeah.
were planted by the barons. Now, of course, Rama IV, he would have been building his railroads 1850 to 70.
Oh, they're checking already.
So they're fine, please. Steve got it wrong. But anyway, it was during the American Civil War because he offered 10 war elephants to Abraham Lincoln to fight the Civil War, as Miss
I
Leon
learned
Wins
that
reminded us. Yeah,
in The King and I.
And The King and I.
Yes.
And at any rate, so that was mid 1800s. The tin mines were going on from about 1900, 1904 up until the 1970s. So the trees would have been growing wild, and these tin barons would have found, I don't know if you grow them from shoots, from clones, from seeds, from pods, what. But they would have planted that road down both sides of my road that I ride every morning on my bicycle.
Road.
Fuck yeah. It's Hat Satif, Steve's beach. Because there's never anybody there but me. 13 kilometers of empty beach. And at any rate, the tin barons planted those rows. But the trees that are all growing wild were planted during the reign of Rama IV.
Okay.
Their ancestors were planted. These are obviously not 300 years old, but...
So, it's not the only stretch of coastline
what I do.
with
It's what I do.
with casuarina trees. They are.
Yeah, they're here too.
They're here in Phuket as well.
Up the northern beaches.
That's right, Maikau.
Yeah, Amanpuri's beach and everything, yeah.
Anampuri has been named as one of the top 20 hotels in the world, along with the Mandarin Oriental along the Chao Phraya, another one called Kapeli, which is also on the Chao Phraya River, and Six Senses at Koh Yao Noi, which is off the coast of Phuket.
Those people
done.
They need to invite us for junkets.
I think it would be very appropriate if they asked me to pop out, and I could then perhaps send you a few photos.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for sharing
it's the least I
that
could
with
do.
me. It is the least you could do.
Yeah.
But
Your
thank
idea,
you. Yeah.
I'm the one who'll...
I am comforted by the fact that they will never invite us for a journalist junket to any of these properties. But
I think we'd probably have to get a nice shirt or something.
I did spend one night. I told you this. I spent one night invited for free at the Oriental in 94, 95. And in my room, you know, they used to have stationery in the drawers of the desks in your hotel rooms.
This is a very high-so hotel in Bangkok.
Oh, the Oriental. It's often called the best hotel in the world. That's how they market themselves anyway. And one of the original...
I'm thinking of using the same branding for my hotel.
I think you could. I think it's up for grabs. There's a certain statute of limitations on false advertising.
Yeah.
Anyway, Louis Leonowens, who we talked about last week, the son of Anna Leonowens of The King and I, he was one of the first investors that launched the Oriental Hotel in Bangkok. But when I stayed there, my one free night, because I never in my life could have afforded a night at the Oriental, in the drawer was the usual stationery supplies when people used to write letters. But the envelopes and the stationery and the pencils were all embossed in gold. Steve Ross, the Oriental Hotel. And they spelled the name correctly. So I assume they did that for all their guests. They provided you with personally branded, which you would then take with you, and you would advertise the Oriental Hotel to everybody you knew. Look what they gave me. Look, here's a pencil with my name on it.
As you mentioned
Brilliant.
I'm
Brilliant.
logging into bookings.com, and I'm going to see how much it's going to cost us for a night there.
This experience, this has made you need a vacation. Is that it?
Mandarin Oriental. Mandarin Oriental Bodrum. I didn't say Bangkok. For heaven's sake. Hang on, just give me a moment here. Talk amongst yourselves.
Buku Bats.
Mandarin Oriental. Go on.
The Author's Lounge in the Mandarin Oriental. The Mandarin Oriental likes to advertise itself, market itself as having a deep connection with the world of letters. Lots of authors
Somerset Maugham.
Noel
Coward.
Yeah, they misspelled years ago. They used to have a picture of George Orwell on the wall, and they misspelled George. They put an S on the end, like the French, Georges. And that's how deep their connection is to the world of letters. They like to imply that famous books were written on the premises, and they were not. And Somerset Maugham, actually, in his story, the man in the lobby, something like that, he got malaria. And he was dying, and they didn't want the famous writer to die on their property. So while he was sick and in a fever, they packed him into a car and they took him to another hotel and put him in a room in another hotel. I know the current management would never do that. I don't want a letter from the marketing department or the legal department at the Mandarin Oriental for implying that they throw dying guests in the river. I'm sure they've stopped doing that.
Yes. Allegedly. It's such a good hotel, they don't even list them on booking.com. I've been there for high tea, which I paid for. Sorry, not high tea, it's afternoon tea, which was very, very nice. Yeah.
I drink coffee. I drink coffee all day long.
I wouldn't invite you. It's a bit high so for you.
No, do not invite me to high tea, to a debutante ball, to a coronation. Do not invite me to anything like that.
Like somebody's got to invite you to a coronation.
You don't know. It could happen. You don't know. I have friends.
Was once...
was once. He's a regular correspondent.
Okay, so was once asked the question.
He or she.
Steve.
Yo, sup?
Are you familiar with the American literary mag, The Sun magazine?
No.
Been around for 50 years.
I may have been aware of it in graduate school because we were encouraged to submit to all sorts of literary magazines, little prestige boutique publications, which you got paid with 2 contributors' copy of the magazine. But now, no, if I was aware of it, does he say why? Was once say why? I should know this title.
No, The Sun magazine. Been around 50 years. Steve doesn't know anything about it.
Sorry, dude.
Steve, he says he's American. We're not 100% sure. It might just be a big lie.
No, I'm American. Yeah. Iowa. Yeah, I'm from Iowa.
That's about as
American as you can get. Yeah.
Did you have twisters in Iowa?
Oh, God, yes. Hurricanes. I had a friend.
No.
Tornadoes.
Tornadoes,
yes.
yeah.
I had a friend who lived in Washington, Iowa, which is a little depressed. In the 70s, the Monsanto and the big corporations came in and bought up all the farms, drove all the family farmers out of business and bought their farms dirt cheap. Iowa farmland is the best in the United States. Because 10 million years ago, the
volcanic activity.
No, glaciers.
Oh, yeah.
Glaciers would scrape all the topsoil off of Canada, push it down to the middle of the United States, and then melt and deposit all this rich soil in Kansas, Illinois, Indiana, Nebraska, Iowa, this swath across the center of the United States.
Sorry, Canada just called. They want their dirt back.
Yeah, come and get it. But now, of course, it's all full of chemicals because Monsanto doesn't farm the way we used to farm.
Allegedly.
Yeah. But at any rate, why was I bringing up topsoil in Iowa?
This
is about Thailand,
twisters,
right?
hurricanes.
Oh, yeah. So my friend was an artist, and I used to pay him.
Artist.
He was an artist, and so I paid him to mow my lawn because that's how he made money. And he had a studio, and he had a house in Washington, Iowa, because you used to be able to buy up. All these little American towns went dry, their business sections dried up, and you used to be able to pick up what used to be the country store in Washington, Iowa for like $100, buy it at auction from the county for non-payment of taxes. So he had these 2 buildings. This poor artist had these 2 buildings on the main street of Washington, Iowa. And one day a tornado came through. It took the roof off his house, turned it on its edge, rolled it down the main street, and put it right through the front window of his store, of his art studio. That was the damage in Washington from that twister. His house and his store, nothing else.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you kind of get the feeling God hates you, don't you?
Go and buy a Tats Lotto ticket.
And a year later, he moved his family to Holland. I never heard from him again. They went to Amsterdam or somewhere.
And they were caught in a flood.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. From Turtle Beach to Washington, Iowa.
Yeah, go figure.
And with thanks to all those people that have tuned in today.
No focus.
I have no idea why you do, but we're very grateful that you do.
Yeah, seriously. Love you guys.
It's always interesting to read your comments and to get your corrections. When Steve gets things wrong, I'm lucky I never get anything wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have a segment called Tim Got It Wrong.
For a reason.
Right, yeah.
So today we are coming from my living room because I was just too stingy to drive up to Turtle Beach this week.
I was here.
We might do it here next week as well.
All right, yeah.
I've got a room upstairs for you.
I'll sleep in the garage with the cats.
1,500 baht a night, and we'll give you breakfast for free.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Steve's got a YouTube channel, Steve Ross with an E.
Yeah.
And you can watch Steve playing with dolls and yellow ducks and things.
Yeah.
And the world
creative.
according to Steve.
It's unique. You'll not see anything like it.
Do you think you're sort of going to settle into some sort of... I mean, it's all very potpourri at the moment, your channel.
No, it has 2 components.
Oh, okay.
And they alternate week by week. There's
sorry,
Boontongs,
yes,
which is the dramatization with toys of my old short stories and other people's writing about Thailand.
Right.
I take a short story,
yes,
I build a set, I act it out with toys, cheap 20 baht Chinese action figures. Then there is simply the monologue, which is called Postcards from Turtle Beach, which is Steve speaking into a phone for 20 minutes.
Half an hour, just
yeah,
non-stop Steve.
Yeah.
By the way, Steve has run out of stories with Boontong's Beach Bar. Next week, he's starting a serialisation of War and Peace, which I think should take us up to at least 2025.
I would love to do A Woman of Bangkok by Jack Reynolds. I would love to film that. That needs to be a movie. That is a spectacular story. It needs to be a movie.
Can I sort of come along and sort of be a character or a puppeteer or something?
You can carry trays of Gatorade around the set and offer Gatorade to the crew. That's what you can do.
Okay.
You can be the PA to the PAs.
That sounds good enough for me. Steve
Showbiz.
Ross, Tim Newton, thank you for watching today. Thank you to 5 Star Marine, who seem for some reason to keep on sponsoring us. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.